data backups. So since you may be part of your business continuity and disaster recovery team for your organization as a CISSP, you could probably pull up your book or do some research and then go into the meeting and remind yourself of a lot of these concepts. And having a backup strategy is something that you may be asked to help within your organization. You may already be familiar with some of these, but let's go through and take a look at it. So the full backup, the one up top here, is a complete copy of all the data on the device. And so every file is duplicated regardless of a setting. Once it's complete, typically there is this thing that is called the archive bit, that when you actually have a piece of software that's running a backup, and specifically these backups that we're showing you here, the archive bit, I'm going to write this on here, the archive bit is set to 0, right? So when the archive bit is set to 0, that means the next time the backup is run, that it's already made a backup of that file has not changed, and so do not make another backup of that file. And so it's either a 1 or 0 with backups. So with backup software, that's typically the way it works. So if you're using Veeam as a backup solution, Veeam would do something like these three on here to actually figure out what needs to be backed up and what doesn't. And so that archive bit is turned off once the file has been backed up. In differential backups here, this is what happens whenever you are looking to back up the files that have been modified since the last time that a full backup has been run, or the incremental backup was executed. So let's talk about that here for a second. That's the incremental. Above here is the differential. So differential is what's different between the last full backup. Incremental is what's the difference between the last full backup and the last time you ran the incremental. So let's check it out. The differential is since the last time that the most recent full backup was run, what's changed? What's changed? So only files that have the archive bit turned on or enabled, set to 1, are backed up or duplicated. The problem is with the differential backups, the archive bit is not changed once it's backed up. Why do you think that is with the differential backup? Anybody? Yeah, you're expecting more changes. That's right. You're running a full-time, another full backup. You need to know what everything you're going to back up. If you have all 3 of these in place, you want to make sure that you copy all the files since the last changes. Good. And so with the incremental backups here, those copy the files that have been modified since the time of either the last incremental backup or the most recent full backup. And then only those files that have that archive bit turned on are duplicated. Once that incremental backup is complete, then the archive bit for incremental is reset or set back to 0. And so at a high level, there's a good chance that you will see one question on one of these for your exam. The different types of backups. So the ones that are typically confusing for people, this one's pretty straightforward, the full. The ones that are typically confusing for people are those two. And so whenever you're using backup, you want to use one of two methods. Usually people either will back up on a full basis, maybe one night a week, and then run differential backups every other night of the week. That way, you know, if a failure happens, you restore the last full backup, and then you restore the differential backups. And most organizations will adopt some sort of backup strategy that uses typically more than one of the three backups.